Hi everybody. I am back to do our third night of Advent. I didn't realize I forgot to show this on the other videos, but we are in the an Advent devotional, unwrapping the names of Jesus. That is the name of the book. So, just in case you're interested in checking it out for yourself. But we're gonna go ahead and read our new name, and then we will do the same thing we've been doing and go over the challenge and do the prayer. And then at the end, I'll give you the extra reading as well if you want to dig deeper. So, day 3. Jesus is the King of Kings. Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. Matthew 2:2. At both the beginning and the end of Jesus' physical life, Gentiles proclaimed his kingship. The wise men were the first non-Jews to seek out Jesus, and they came because the cosmos announced his birth in such a glorious manner that they concluded it must be for royalty. Acknowledging the crime for which Jesus was being crucified, Pilate ordered that a placard be fastened to the cross that read, Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. The Jews themselves did not acknowledge Jesus as their king and wanted Pilate to change the sign, but he refused. Despite their refusal to recognize Jesus' kingship, Jesus is king. He came to rule what is rightfully his, both due to his lineage and his creation ownership. Matthew dedicates the first part of Jesus' narrative to his genealogy, carefully tracing his lineage to David's royal blood. And Luke outlines Jesus' family tree all the way back to Adam, son of God. Perhaps the most fitting moment of worship in the New Testament is when Jesus entered Jerusalem victoriously riding on a donkey. The crowds praising God and shouting, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven and glory in the highest." Luke 19:38. Although many in the crowd may not have understood that Jesus' kingdom is not of this world, such praise befits the King of Kings. And we who have the benefit of the entire New Testament narrative have ample reason to bow our knees in praise and adoration. Jesus came first as a humble king, but he will return as a warrior king to claim what is rightfully his. John tells us of the present reality in heaven. On his robe and on his thigh, he has this name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Revelations 19:16. The King of glory is not absent from his kingdom. He is patiently awaiting the time when he will come again to establish his kingdom. We do not trifle with a weakling, nor do we worship an incompetent wannabe rock star. We worship the King of Kings, who deserves all honor and glory and continually receives it from the heavens, creation, angels, and the chorus of his redeemed. Who is this King of glory? His name is Jesus. Sorry, my cat keeps trying to mess with my tree and I have to scare her off. Anyway, so now we're going to move to the challenge part. It says, the entire universe worships the King of Kings, but as humans, we often miss out on the privilege. We're often so focused on ourselves that we become prideful, angry, and annoyed with others, especially in the busyness of the holiday season. Today, take your eyes off yourself and fix your gaze on the King of glory. Worship him today. I'm going to read it one more time. The challenge is, the entire universe worships the King of Kings, but as humans, we often miss out on this privilege. We're often so focused on ourselves that we become prideful, angry, and annoyed with others, especially in the busyness of the holiday season. Today, take your eyes off yourself and fix your gaze on the King of glory. Worship him today. Y'all, I think that is a great challenge, because I think that is probably something that almost everyone, if not everyone, suffers with. especially during this time of year. It can be a stressful time if we let it. We have to worry about doing the presents for the kids or other family members. Doing dinners and trying to organize all these things and get-togethers and all this, and it's all meant to be for good. It's all meant to bring us together so that we can, be together as a family, worship, praise the Lord, for what He has done, celebrate His birthday, as well as be together. And, even the things we do, like giving the presents, is representation, of the wise men's gifts to Jesus, so on and so forth. And all these things are supposed to be good, and they are good, but the simple fact of human nature and the way the world is turns into something that it's not meant to be. And we often get stressed and let it overwhelm us. And I know, especially for moms and or dads that are like me, they're stay-at-home parents, so we tend to do the more of the planning and the figuring stuff out, because it's just a little bit easier for us when we're at home, or in theory it should be, but it's definitely not. And it can be overwhelming, and it's very easy to lose your focus on what it's actually supposed to be about. So I love that challenge, to take your eyes off yourself, take your eyes off the world around you, and focus on Him. And I think if we're able to do that, and especially I would say, if we're finding ourselves in that moment, that moment of getting overwhelmed, of like it says, it turns into anger, annoyance, all of these things. When we feel that, if we can recognize that and stop for a minute and be like, what am I doing? This is not what God wanted. This is not what this season is supposed to be about. And then redirect and focus on Him and find Him in those moments. Guys, I'm sorry, my throat is killing me. But I think that if we can intentionally recognize those moments and redirect our thoughts and our eyes and our heart to Him, it will help us to overcome, these negative emotions like anger, and the frustration and the aggravations and all of that, all of those negative things. If we replace them with looking at Jesus and looking at God and intentionally seeking Him and seeking, what He would want in that situation, then we can truly be in His presence and remember of what the season is for, and actually celebrate, because that is what ultimately what this season is about. It's celebrating the time that the time had come for our Savior to come into the world, and it is His birthday, and it is meant to recognize that amazing moment when He was delivered to us, and when all of God's prophecies came to be. So I think if we go through our day and we really take this challenge to heart and start, the second we start feeling those moments of anger, doubt, frustration, whatever it is, we stop and we intentionally be like, okay, this is what I'm feeling, but what would God say? What would He do in this situation? What would He feel? How would He react? And then we try to do that, and we try to focus on Him, and whatever we're doing, make it about Him. That's like even, Christmas parties and planning, dinners and all of that. It still should be focused on Him, because it's all about us coming together as a family to celebrate our salvation, which is through Him and through His word. So that's a very good challenge, and I think it will do a lot of people a lot of good if they are able to do that and just kind of keep that in mind going forward throughout our holiday season. And I think you'll find that it'll help you be a lot happier about it as well, and a a lot more peaceful and loving, and even looking forward to it. Because, guys, let me tell you something. As one of those that does a lot of the planning and stuff in the family, you should still be enjoying yourself too. This is just as much a time for you to celebrate as it is for anybody else, and you should be having just as good of a time. And I think if we refocus and we find God in that and what we're doing and put him in the center of it, that is where that will start to happen. You will enjoy your holiday again. You won't be so stressed out. It won't be such a big thing. So, all right, and now we'll do the prayer. So it says, Most High King, you deserve all my honor and praise. Forgive me for the many times I'm so self-centered and I'm in effect negating your kingship. What a privilege to worship you. Thank you for the hope within us that we will someday worship you with the angels and the saints who have gone before us in your glorious throne room. I can't wait. And that is the truth. I can't wait. I know I can't wait. I just recently lost a cousin of mine, and it was really hard because it was really tragic loss, and a very sudden loss, and he was very young. But I also can't help being a little jealous, and it's because he got there first, and he gets to see my dad, his dad, our others that have went before us. He gets to celebrate with the Lord and be in his presence for Christmas. And that's a wonderful thing, because I know, at least for me, even though I'm sad that I don't get to see him, I'm so happy for him, because he is at peace now, and he gets to be at peace and rest at the Father's feet, and that is the ultimate goal for any Christian. So I'm sad to lose him, but I am so happy for him at the same time, and that is what a wonderful opportunity that is, and to be able to worship. So for further study, there is Zechariah 9:9, Matthew 2:2, Luke 19:37 through 44, John 19:15 through 19, 1 Timothy 1:17 and 6:15, and Revelations 15:3 and 19:6. What is it, little girl? Hold on, guys. Sorry, guys. My daughter got something stuck, and yeah, I had to go save it. Anyway, I hope that y'all enjoyed going over his name, the King of Kings. It's one of the more common ones I think we hear, and I encourage you to take that challenge to heart, and to really remember what a privilege it is for us to be able to worship him, for us to be able to, celebrate his life and the birth, and what that birth meant to the world. So I hope this has helped somebody today, and I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow for the next Advent name, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful Christmas.